Hey everybody, and welcome to part 2 of the Attic Nister combo video. This video is going to be taking a look at the Arrival Cyberse Attic Nister. This card is the only Link 6 monster in the game, and it's an Ultimate Falcon. If you like that analogy, it just means that it's unaffected by your opponent's card effects. If you haven't already seen part 1, part 1 had to deal with Firewall Dragon Dark Fluid. If you haven't already seen that, I will leave a link in the description down below. I am also planning on having a part 3 out for this video. That'll cover more miscellaneous combos that don't fall into Firewall Dragon Dark Fluid or the Arrival Cyberse Attic Nister. But without further ado, let's go ahead and head on into the video so you can see what combos I've cooked up with the Arrival Cyberse Attic Nister. In this video, I have a total of 4 combos and one variation of one of those combos that I want to show. Now the first of these combos is going to be a simple 1-card combo that can be performed with Achichi. This combo is going to end you on the Arrival Cyberse Attic Nister with 3000 attack, Cyberse Quantum Dragon to negate attacks, Transcode Talker for recursion on the next turn, and Danamari Attic Nister in the graveyard. Danamari is a card that can be banished from the graveyard if you control your Link 6, and then you can negate the effect of a card on field. Danamari can also be special summoned from hand if an Attic Nister monster you control battles an opponent's monster, and special summoning it will negate the attack. So if you can get it back to hand, it's another way to prevent your opponent from running over your Arrival Cyberse Attic Nister. Now for those of you who do not know the effect of the Arrival Cyberse Attic Nister, in order to summon it, you need 3+ monsters with different attributes, and then it will gain 1000 attack for each attribute used. So if you use 3 monsters to summon it, it will have 3000 attack. If you use 6, it will have 6000 attack. So the obvious dynamic here is trying to determine how much you want to invest into this monster. The more you put into it, the less cards that can run it over by battle, but the less cards that you have backing it up as well. Our second combo is going to be a 2-card combo that can be performed with Achichi plus any water or earth extender. What this is going to end you on is a 6000 attack Arrival Cyberse Attic Nister. This combo is also going to give you a Danamari Engrave to negate 1 card effect, but I want to stress that this combo is not always the best thing to do. There are some decks that can easily out a 6000 attack monster even if it is unaffected by opponent card effects. So it's always a good idea, if you do this combo, to be very sparing about when you use Danamari, and in general, just try and be aware of what you're playing against. If you know the deck very well and know that they can't out it, this is a great combo to go into, however. This combo will additionally end you on When I First Met You in hand, with no monsters on the field except in the extra monster zone, so you will also be able to use the leftover field spell in order to combo off on the following turn. Now our third combo here is meant to demonstrate 2 things. First, while you do generally want to open Achichi, opening When I First Met You in hand is still a full combo. And 2, Danamari is not necessarily a brick. It can special summon itself, but more importantly, the fact that it can negate attacks from hand means that it's nowhere near as bad as having to main deck the ritual monster like you would in the Dark Fluid build. So between Achichi, Picari, When I First Met You, and Cynet Mining, you have the option of running a total of 12 1-card starters. Well, 1.5 card starters if you think of Cynet Mining as a 2-card starter, since you do have to discard a card. But, you know, you're always going to have a discard on turn 1 anyway. So this deck has a lot of room for customization and not a lot of actual bricks. The last little piece of this video is how to play around Nibiru. You can't really stop Nibiru entirely from happening in this deck, unless you play Nightmare Corruptor Ibli. So instead, you need to just kind of, in general, know how to play around it if your opponent happens to drop one on you. In general, the best trick to know is that you can go for Transcode Talker instead of Splash Mage, at the point in the combo where you would normally go for Splash Mage. What this allows you to do is it puts your opponent in an awkward situation where there is no optimal time to drop Nibiru. The best point to hit you at would probably be right after you resolve Transcode Talker. But if they don't hit you then, you can just go ahead and make an Arrival Cyberse Attic Nister, and if you have something like Idol Reborn in hand, you can continue playing anyway. Now, if your opponent hits you with a Nibiru right after you resolve your Transcode Talker and you have Idol Reborn in hand, you're going to be able to continue comboing off. Your end combo isn't going to be nearly as strong as it would before, but you are still going to end on a relatively respectable board. The most important thing being that you get to use the Idol Reborn a second time. You get it back to your hand, you can set it, and you can use it on the opponent's turn. And what this allows you to do is essentially loop it infinitely with Doyon Attic Nister, which will, bring back an Attic Nister card to your hand, something like an Achichi or a Picari, and then when you link off the Doyon, you can grab back your Idol Reborn, and then use your Idol Reborn to combo again on the next turn. Now, normally this setup will leave you in a situation where you can avoid a second Nibiru if your opponent has it, which is always optimal. However, if you don't play around it, choosing not to, or you just don't want to, you can still continue looping the Idol Reborn, basically being sure that you're in the game no matter what. This is not only an easy way to play around Nibiru, in grindier matchups, this is a very effective way to play as a whole, allowing you to play around a wide variety of cards that would normally stun very aggressive decks. Thanks for watching the video. Tell me in the comments section down below what you'd like to see next, and be sure to like, comment, and subscribe.